Welcome to this Soul Calibur VI hands-on preview with me, Respawn Roscoe for My Games Lounge, who took on David Game from the team at Soul Calibur VI recently at an event, having a go on the game. It was a really cool experience, so if you're looking forward to it, keep watching this video and you'll get some information about how Soul Calibur VI plays, what it's like to take on someone, plus some of the characters including Geralt from the Witcher series, and I'm going to give the verdict on how I think this game's going to be when it finally comes out, and it should be a pretty good one, I've got to say. Anyone that's a fan of the series will know Soul Calibur really is a cool 3D fighter, and Soul Calibur 6 could be the best yet, so keep watching the video to find out more, plus there's a link in the description to the written version of this video. Soul Calibur 6 actually isn't that far away, guys. It's coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC, and it'll be arriving on the 19th of October 2018, where we'll be taking on the role of various different characters in this weapon-based 3D fighting game. Now, I was taking it on at EGX with David Game, and we were having a battle between Geralt and Geralt. I think I've said his name properly. We were having a bit of a scrap between us on the show floor and really enjoying ourselves taking on the new features of the game, including the soul edge moves, which really do add a sense of grandeur to it. The big standouts for me from the gameplay was how good it felt to actually utilize the moves. The flash was really positive as you hit, really made the impact feel good right from the start in our first match. Now, one of the things that you do want from a fighting game of this type is a sense of balance between the characters. So like I said, I played as Geralt, who seemed a little bit more high impact but maybe not as quick, whereas Geo was nice and speedy and had a little bit more flair about him. But the big thing was, as we picked those characters for the first time and took on our first match, everything felt balanced. It didn't feel like I was having the better character because I picked Geralt and he had it overpowered. It really did feel even, and that's why it went down to the final round as a best of 5 contest. So we really did enjoy playing the game. It was pretty cool. It remains to be seen just how deep the story is going to be, but in terms of the initial impression as we started looking at it, it was really good. Now, speaking of looking at it, the visuals are absolutely beautiful. The things that stand out, a little bit like the one I did for the Kingdom Hearts video, lighting effects. The way that they made those weapons feel really impactful certainly jumped off the screen as we were playing. Really enjoyed taking out those flashy moves, especially unleashing the soul edge powers that really did have some high impact and some great visual pizzazz to them as you were getting smacked around. You didn't mind so much because it looked good, even though I was getting considerably beaten at this point. The grudge match started between me and David, and it was all a very superficial grudge match. As I was saying that God of War was the best game of the year so far, he was arguing that Spider-Man was the best game of the year so far. To be honest, you could argue both sides, but the winner would get the final say. So it was a safe bet considering we both loved each game. Now, I played as Geralt. I fancied my chances about it and I changed to a cool red skin. There were some unlockable skins for the characters, but there were 2 available from the start. David went with Gro, I think again that's how you say his name, and he was a single-handed sword fighter known as the Agent in Black. Now, he was pretty cool. I quite liked the character model for him. He was really good, and taking him on was pretty tricky because he was a bit faster than Geralt from what I could see anyway. We were both fully impressed with the visuals. Moving around the kind of area that we'd gone to, we went to a random zone, but there was always that danger of a ring out. So we were taking on each other and it's going back and forth. David managed to take the first round somehow. It was very, very lucky, to be honest. And we were battling it out using the heavy attacks, which were mapped to the face buttons, and then we were using the block button, which was mapped to X, as we were using a PlayStation pad. It was all very, very responsive. The special controls were up on the shoulder buttons, as you would expect, and it was all about building up those bars in order to release his soul edge moves, which David managed to find before me, which I think is why he took the first round. After that, it was more about a tactical moving around the locations using the blocks and the parries in order to get the advantage on the opponent as we started to get used to the controls more, and it really did feel good, I've got to be honest. Now, the sneaky one that I got in there, which I've forgotten about with Soul Calibur games, was the ring out. So they're still in there. If you manage to knock your opponent out of the ring, you win the round, regardless of what slither of life you've got left. They lose and you win. So that was one of the ways I got back into it. I am slightly concerned about them from an online point of view where it could get spammy, but it was certainly quite fun to take out David as he was starting to dominate a little bit using that technique. And we headed into the final round. After utilising the speed of Grio, I was struggling a little bit to get back into the game, but I unleashed one of the special moves. Now what this did was it unleashed my Soul Edge ability, which unleashed all the powers and witcher signs of Geralt of Rivia in the battle. And now this was really cool. It was similar to the special moves that we've seen in the 3D fighters recently, but it really did have that high impact and tried to change the face of the battle and brought me right back into it. And everything got a little bit edgy from there. Now you can block these if you're lucky, but they were pretty powerful. It wasn't a suggestion that you could build up that power, and it was really easy to miss. Like in some fighting games of this type, you can build all that up, unleash it, and just seem to hit a normal block and it not unleash. They were pretty powerful, pretty difficult to avoid from what we could see, but there might be more control to that as we get forward. Once we got towards the end, things got pretty nervy, and it was all down to like a couple of hits here and there, but I am ashamed to say I was not victorious. David managed to just take me out at the last moment, but the best thing about the whole thing was it really could have gone either way. And I'm not just saying that. He's going to probably come in the comments and say something like, what you're talking about, it was a perfect, I knocked you out completely. The thing about the game was you could pick it up, you could really enjoy it, and regardless of which character we picked in the first instance, everything felt really balanced. And that was the key thing that I got from Soul Calibur this time. That focus on making those characters not only good to play, but also good to fight against each other without feeling like someone's got the big advantage. Looking forward to this one, I've got to say, and our gameplay impressions are pretty positive as we head into the verdict. Like any game coming out in October, I do fear for it because of the Red Dead Redemption factor. We cannot stay away from that. But Soul Calibur 6 actually looks really impressive and well worth considering if you're a fan of fighting games. The only thing to say about it is the fact that the ring outs could become a little bit spammy if you were playing in an online situation. Hopefully they've got some protection against that to make sure people can't just keep doing it over and over again. But I'm not sure what they could do, to be honest. The other thing to say about the game as well is how well does the story mode translate into the game. Hopefully they get that right, because stories in fighting games have been really good recently, and considering the characters that are in Soul Calibur, that's the key element to get this right. But we really did enjoy the Soul Edge Super Moves addition to the fight. It really was good. Loved the character models, the visuals, the locations were cool too, and we really enjoyed the fact that every character felt like they were balanced with the other in some way. Some were quicker, some were more high impact, some were bigger to move around, but really did swing some massive reach on those weapons. There was a nice variety, and it does seem like one of the best fighting games that you could possibly release this year. There's not too many around at the moment, and if you do like a good 3D fighter, it's looking like Soul Calibur 6 could be one of the best editions of this game and one of the best fighters of the year. So really looking forward to it, guys. Are you looking forward to it too? I'm going to pass the video over to you now. Soul Calibur 6. Are you interested in picking this one up? Let me know what features you're looking forward to in the game. Is it the cool characters? Is it that fighting gameplay? Or is it going to be the story mode and you can see what's going on there? Or maybe it's the online. Let me know what you think in those comments, guys. Thank you for watching. Really enjoyed playing Soul Calibur 6, looking forward to playing it more. Should have some coverage on mygameslounge.com further into October as we get closer to release. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop it a like, subscribe to the channel and share this on social media. Head over to mygameslounge.com as well. In the description there's a link to the written version with a bit more detail on what the fight went down like between me and David at EGX. I'll leave you with some other videos to check out here on the My Games Lounge YouTube channel and a nice big subscribe button. Bye bye.